Thank you, Mr. Chairman, the ranking member. To the panelists, congratulations on your nominations. Welcome to your family members. Dr. Callahan, I'd like to start questioning with you. As you likely know, the United States does not produce commercially significant amounts of coffee. In fact, 99% of all coffee in the United States is imported. And for that reason, prior to this current administration, Americans paid 0 tariffs on coffee imports. However, because of this administration, now we're seeing significant amounts of costs for coffee because of tariffs. Let me just say, and I think you know this, Brazil is one of the top sources for U.S. coffee. But now, because of the 50% tariffs that this administration has put on Brazil, we are seeing an increase in coffee. It's 40% higher than it was a year ago. U.S. retail coffee prices surged by over 20% in August alone. It's not a smart way to keep consumer prices down. So let me ask you this. What is the point of this tax?
Thank you for raising this issue, Senator Cortez Masto. And just to back up a bit, on September 5th, the executive order that was issued by the president lists a long list of products that are not produced in the United States, including coffee. Products like coffee, cocoa, spices. This list is incredibly valuable to the trading partners that we're negotiating with. The list, we call it the PTAP list, but this list for some partners represents 80% or more of their agricultural exports to the United States. So for those trading partners that offer us an ambitious deal and we're able to close that deal, we will be ready and willing to remove the reciprocal tariff on coffee and other products.
Let me ask you this. I don't mean to cut you off, and we have so much time. This is my concern. How long does it take to negotiate a trade deal? USMCA took over 2 or 3 years. So we are talking about rising prices for consumers on products like coffee that typically did not have a tariff because we don't produce it here. I understand you want to use it as a negotiating leverage, but how many of these countries are you negotiating with right now, and what is the timeline? And can I say, shouldn't there be certain commodities like coffee, which we do not manufacture in abundance here, that the American public doesn't have to be part of leverage in the costs that they're paying at the expense of a decision made by this administration. And for that reason, I will tell you today, this morning, Senator Paul and I introduced legislation to impose no tax on coffee because we don't think consumers should have to pay the price. I'm hoping that's something that you would support. Last night, because Brazil is #1 exporter of coffee to the United States, there was bipartisan support to stop that tariff on Brazil. Last night, there was a vote for a Senate joint resolution. So I'm hoping there's common sense here because I don't know how long it's going to take for these negotiations to take place. And I will tell you, back home in Nevada, prices are increasing at the grocery store. They're not decreasing. So what can I tell Americans about the cost of coffee and how long it's going to take you to negotiate this?
Thank you, Senator. I can attest that at USTR, we have been working night and day to finalize these agreements. 2 agreements that were signed this weekend, the Malaysia agreement and the Cambodia agreement, really are emblematic of the high level of ambition that we're seeing from trading partners. The Malaysia agreement, I was in Malaysia 2 weeks ago. We worked around the clock to get that agreement over the finish line. These agreements are being finalized and signed on really an unprecedented timeline. You're absolutely right on the length of time for the USMCA versus the 2 agreements that were signed this weekend took a matter of months, and we have literally dozens of additional countries.
Let me just throw in here, add on to, for my cattle ranchers as well. I am hearing from them, and the National Cattlemen's Beef Association has said that President Trump's plan to increase beef imports from Argentina undercuts the future of family farmers and ranchers. It risks damaging the livelihoods of American cattlemen and women while doing little to impact the price that consumers are paying at the grocery store. One of my ranchers, cattle ranchers, said importing more beef from countries that don't match U.S. production standards like Argentina undermines both our producers and our progress. What can I tell them? That you're in ongoing negotiations? And what if you put them out of business? What do you put my coffee companies, the restaurants and the little coffee shops out of business? What do I tell them? That, oh, well, we weren't able to negotiate it quick enough, so sorry, you're out of business now, we're out of jobs, the economy is much worse in Nevada and across the country. We need timelines, we need answers. This isn't an answer for me, and I hope you understand the urgency of this, and I'm willing to work with you, but I need better answers.